We got here is a look into the 80s as we interface the CNN polls and whatnot. CNN, the 2000s, yeah. So, what was that?
Tonight,
okay.
Communication innovations that await us as we head
That's
into the 21st century.
21st century. Okay, it's 2000s. Okay, so we're interfacing with TV, future of communication. Okay, so let's put a spin on it. Let's put a little smoke screen on it, if you will, or a screen on it, a filter on it, cheat. Right, okay, so the PDAs came out around 2000, like Palm Pilots and whatnot. So what he's talking about, he's just told, look at Simius telephones, and I don't know why they call that brand that, but anyway, and the Stephen King books, bestsellers and whatnot. And I put a personal shima on that. I started reading thriller novels about 2003 or so, and then they got DVR, TiVo type stuff. And this has been a separation started because I never did get started with TiVo or something like that. And a lot of times with the filter cheating on it, a lot of things people went their separate ways. Like live mail went a whole different way. Blackberries went another way, and cell phones like Metro PCS or even became affordable and whatnot. And there's Tom Hanks. And here, Sanjay Gupta. And what is this? This is CNN back in the days, early 2000s. It looks old, but it's not that. He's talking about GPS and stuff like that. And I don't know what they're talking about. I think they're talking about Bitcoins there. That's processing versatiles or whatever. Not versatiles, but debit cards mobily, like through a mobile method. But I'm not sure exactly what that is. And so with that, I think people, Apple Pay and all that stuff came out. And so with Apple Pay, if I put a tangent on that, you can get delivery methods through, like, say, medicine and whatnot, and pay through your versatile card, and they have the whole system there in their car. That'll charge your system through cellular technology or whatever. And basically, and even if you look at the lines and say, okay, maybe there's forget all the red tape of what it is and the cheating of smokescreen, and say, and what is it this people are talking about? Bill Gates was back, he was controlling Microsoft, everything, had his hands in it, as far as like however the operations went, and computers and stuff, of course, so I think I mentioned this earlier too. My roads and whatnot, in Windows 95, they labeled it that. But even before then, let's listen on them what they're talking about. So on the tangent alone, like, Commodore 64s and whatnot turned into Windows 95, and all of a sudden megahertz RAM and all this stuff, and all this stuff meant something, and there's a breakthrough in technology and such, or at least out onto the markets. So with RAM, storage, hard drives, all this stuff, and so they had this, and then Apple. Of course, Apple was always the opposite, or not the antithesis, but the other end, tail end of of Microsoft or something like that, or PCs, what you call them. If it's not an Apple, it's PC, and that's how that is. And it's basically the same thing. It's basically, I had an Apple and stuff like that, and and I put my own spin on it. Everything. There's only one clicker on the mouse, and everything instead of to the right is to the left. And and when AT&T came out with their high-speed internet and stuff like that, there's a whole, explosion, if you will, in in self-discovery. I'm saying from a personal point of view, in self-discovery and in general, because internet age brought on search search engines such as Jeeves and stuff like that, Ask.com and all this stuff, and you can get a wealth of information which is basically the stem or the root of like Wikipedia nowadays, where but it's an online encyclopedia where people say this is fact or fiction and whatnot. And so, so they had the iMac, and I had one of those. And it was great, you know what I'm saying? It was like it was a relatively inexpensive computer that had all the capabilities that you need for word processing and whatnot and stuff like that. And so late Steve Jobs there for and so that was it. That was amazing. So when he had the iMac and he broke, when Steve Jobs came in, I don't know when he came in, but so that was basically it. That was basically the early 2000s to me as far as computers is. So that's how that goes. So, yeah.